yo voy a te mandar una información. ¿Ok? ¿Vale? Oh. Big guns. Te mandamos, vamos a trabajar.
All right, hello and good morning from Guinea-Bissau in Western Africa. We're in the capital right now, in Bissau, and we are waiting for protesters who are taking on the streets today to protest against the president, against Mario Vaz. They ask him to leave the country, some of them asking for re-elections. I'm here with my colleague, Armando Conte, who is a journalist from Bissau. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Hi, everybody. Thank you very much. Welcome to this wonderful country of Guinea-Bissau.
Thank you, Armando. So you might already see in the background, in the end of the street, protesters are coming here. People expect thousands of them to come. We talked to one of the organizers before. He even said up to 30,000. That seems to me quite a huge number, right?
Yeah, over the board. But definitely there's a lot of people this time than the last time.
You have been here for the protest 2 weeks ago. How many people do you estimate were there?
I estimate around maybe 3,000-4,000 people. I don't know, but as people are going, you're going to see that now, because today is going to be different, because in the past, media have been blamed for doctoring the image in detriment of certain parties. But right now, because it's DW, a very trustworthy organization, so definitely what you see is what you get.
Well, to just get you up to the same level, because I'm sure many of you don't really follow the development of this small country, Guinea-Bissau, in Western Africa, which has less than 2 million inhabitants. So the country after independence has been plagued by a lot of crises, right? There were political crises, there were coups d'etats, heads of states were murdered in the past years. But in 2014, finally the country had an election, and President Mario Vaz was elected as the president with more than 60% of the votes, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
And this was a very hopeful moment for the country. A lot of people had hope that things will move to a better direction now. We just talked to one lady here who said she came back from Portugal after living there for 30 years because she had the feeling things will pick up now. Finally, there will be peace and development in the country. But what happened then was a political struggle and fight, mainly between the president, Mario Vaz, and the party president of the party, which is Domingos Pereira, right?
Yeah.
So and they had some misunderstandings, say it like this. Basically, it was about power. How much power has the president and how much does he have to consult with his own party? So what happened in the end of the day is that the party decided to leave the president and to not support him anymore. And this led to a situation whereby the president can hardly do anything anymore because he doesn't have the support of the parliament. So basically, up to now, there was no government program approved by the parliament. There's no budget in place. So basically, the government can't run until now, and both sides are blaming each other for this situation. So this is just a little update. Was that a
You're right, and what we're seeing today is a non-governmental demonstration. There are citizens, uncomfortable citizens, that created this movement of protesting every now and again because they are tired. They believe the government is corrupt. They believe the government right now is not legitimate because, as you said, you rightly said, hasn't proved his program at the parliament, and they should be dissolved. And if that happens, it's going to be a record in Guinea-Bissau of the 6th prime minister, the 6th government in 3 years, which Mario Vaz said is not going to happen.
So yes, 5 prime ministers already in the past 2 years. That shows how unstable the situation is. For now, thank you, Armando. We will leave you a little bit with the pictures of the demonstrators who are going to pass here in a minute. Afterwards, we're talking a little bit more about the situation. If you have questions, please write to us and we'll try to answer them as well. But for now, we'll leave you alone with some images from the demonstrations.
Jomav zo burada, Jomav zo burada, Jomav zo burada.
All right, so you've seen it for yourself. It was definitely not the 30,000 people that some people said before, but it was a few thousand, 4,000, 5,000, I would estimate, but Hard to say at this point of time. Was it more or less than what you've seen 2 weeks ago?
This is bigger. It's bigger than the last week, showing that because the demonstration now is growing every single week to show the uncomfortability. And the wonderful thing about this one, I'm comfortable as an observer that the party connection is there, but definitely there's the rumors that happened to the other demonstration that the money been paid. I couldn't see that, but definitely the party is behind this one. The ruling party in PAGS is behind them, but definitely I cannot prove that the money has been changed hands in order to be here.
Okay, now we've seen a lot of people, hopefully you too, having these red cards in their hands like referees. What are they trying to say?
They're saying Jomav should go.
Jomav is the nickname of the president.
Jomav is José Mário Vaz, the president of Guinea-Bissau. They should go. That's a red card in even football. If you're shown red card, you have to leave. So they say, what they're saying is not that he doesn't know, he doesn't know how to do it. He can't do it. It's not that he doesn't want to do it, but he can't do it. So he cannot do it, therefore, red card for you to go.
Well, the president is actually not in the capital right now. He's in the eastern provinces. We went there yesterday, officially trying to go there, listening to the people, to their needs. But it was also, of course, telling them about his side of the story, looking for support. So we tried to meet him yesterday. We tried to interview him yesterday. Unfortunately, he was not available for us. But some of his supporters and close allies told us that basically they are not going to step back. They will continue the path they chose, and that this will be the government that will be leading the country for at least the next year when there will be elections, right?
This is a neutrality of DW, because yesterday, as you said, we went to Bafata to try to talk to him. We did our best. For 4 or 5 hours, we couldn't do it, but we spoke to some supporters, which they told their side of story. And today is this side, and this is neutrality. The other thing is that we are doing live, and people are seeing for them their own eyes, because in the past, as we said before, the networks, like a Portuguese one, they've been accused of doctoring images, and this is live Facebook. First time it happened in Guinea-Bissau, and DW is a really, really congratulations to them for providing insight and the first-hand documentary of what happened in Guinea-Bissau for those people who don't know.
Armando, there has been attempts to solve the crisis, various attempts. A lot of international players tried to help, especially ECOWAS, the regional association of the states in Western Africa, tried to come in, tried to help. And actually they managed to reach an agreement in Conakry, which all parties signed, which was a couple of months ago. What happened then? Did anything change?
As you said, yes. It's our government, the president, who handed the case to the UN, and then went to Dakar. They wrote a draft of Dakar agreement. They came to Bissau. They agree in Bissau agreement, and they went to Guinea-Conakry, the Conakry agreement, where all the parties signed for 10 points in order to leave this crisis. But when they came back, at the airport, this agreement started, and that's where we are at the moment. Now, the players, the UN, the EU, the European Union, the AU, African Union, and the 5 Portuguese-speaking countries, and the P5, all of them now agree that when they left Conakry, there's one name being chosen, which is not the current Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister said, no, not that fast. And the President said, no, as we said yesterday. Yesterday we interviewed the staunch alliance of Jomav, which is Brema Kamara, who said this government is going to continue to the end. So the crack started because no one see the minute, no one see the acta of the meeting in Conakry. The name decided by everybody, which is not Sissoko, they said no, it's Olivage, which is from PAGC. So at the moment, we have a draft by an agreement set up by the President of the National Assembly. Say, okay, I can help to solve this problem. You demit this president, the Prime Minister, sorry, and we prepare for election. But PAGS is going to have a 17 ministerial position, and the PRS is going to say 12, and the rest we divide between the small parties in the parliament. The president say no, and the opposition parties say no. So the stalemate we have in, maybe in next week, we can for sure say that the P5, that's European Union, African Union, the CEDEAO and ECOWAS, they went to the parliament 2 days ago. They got the letter from the president of the parliament. They said, we're going to study to see if this one definitely would help to solve the problem. I don't know how they can do it because that's in the public domain already. So everybody's seen it. So how the magic bullet is going to come for us to see the end of the tunnel. In Guinea, we said the end of the tunnel is there, but you never know. The light is there. It may be a truck full of explosives.
But a lot of people we talk to actually don't see the light at the moment anymore. And actually the people who are suffering the consequences of all this political turmoil are the ordinary people. We haven't mentioned it so far, but after the elections in 2014, there was a huge donor conference in Brussels where donors pledged more than 1 billion euros to support Guinea-Bissau to get back on track, to boost the economy in various fields. This money, of course, is not coming anymore. Because nobody knows where it will go right now because of all this political uncertainty. I know we talked about it earlier, and you told me that some people feel that this money, this incentive, so to say, of money from abroad might have been a cause, or one of the causes for the whole political issue. Why is that?
It's unbelievable because Guinea-Bissau got in the donor conference in Brussels the money they never dreamed that they would have. Is the money to build this country from bottom up and do things that are just amazing. Soon after they arrive, the crack started between the president and the prime minister. Who is going to manage that billion euros? So that's where the thing started. Now, ordinary people were saying that, but right now, on record, officials from the international community are thinking that, yes, that may be the root cause. It should be solved at that time, at that moment, but they didn't. So now the political scene, everybody wants something about this cake that the UN. Who's going to manage that one? Whoever manages that one, you have a political power, you have a political capital, you can do whatever you want. So that's why the Prime Minister said, no, we're not going to happen. Piaget said, no, we're not going to happen. The President's slogan right now is the money from the government to the coffers of the government. But many people think that's simply a cliche. It doesn't happen. Because right now, you see a brand new cars from the ministers who came from nowhere, with no skills, with not, and I'm saying that from whole, since 2014 after the elections. It's not just for this prime minister, it's for the last 4 prime ministers. Whoever is in the position of power abuses that and spend the money, and embezzle things that belongs to the people. So yes, after the donor conference in Brussels, that's when things started. And they didn't address that properly. And now we are where we are because of that money.
Now, one of the examples of people suffering is actually in the civil service sector. I mean, we went to the postal offices yesterday, and it's incredible. They told us some of them haven't been paid for 89 months. And we had to ask again, it was indeed 89 months. 7.5 years they've been waiting for their salary, still going to work every day, but nothing happens. So that shows how much trouble the country is and how much issues are ahead. There's this wonderful African proverb saying when 2 elephants are fighting, it's the grass that suffers. And I think Guinea-Bissau is a very clear example for that proverb. And we would like to leave you with that for now. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much, Armando Conde, for your insights on the situation of the country. We hope things will improve and the country will move forward soon, and we'll keep on observing it. Thank you. Have a good day and goodbye.
See you.